Sis, what are you doing? The show's about to start.
I'm on my way.
Perk, it's deadline day. Where are you?
I'm getting on the elevator right now.
Coach, the deals won't stop. We need your expertise.
You know I got you, Malika. I'm locked in.
Shams, you know what day it is?
Malika, I know what day it is. It's trade deadline day. Why are you calling my phone? Doesn't she know better?
I'm on my way. Would you let me get ready? Sources say I'll be right on time.
The trade deadline is here. Potential for absolute insanity.
Anybody is able to trade. Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe.
Okay, here we go.
This was a stunner around the NBA.
This is huge. We are just getting started.
Welcome to the NBA Today Trade Deadline Special, presented by Xfinity.
Hey, welcome inside our Los Angeles studio. We are just under 2 hours away from the 2026 NBA trade deadline, and we have the best in the business to cross that finish line. Alongside Kendrick Perkins, for the first time in our studios on this day, we have Kenny the Jet Smith, Michael Malone, apparently dressed like he's going to somebody's funeral, and Brian Winters.
He might be going to a black tie.
Yeah,
Black tie.
you never
Spend the
know.
night here.
Well, there's some big questions that's going to be answered today, and Michael Malone has a big suit to do it. I'm Malika Anders, and we will be with you for the next 4 hours. But Kendrick Perkins, what was the biggest question heading into today's deadline?
Giannis.
Yep, Giannis. The biggest question was what is going to happen with Giannis Antetokounmpo. And Brian, this is what Giannis posted on social media, on Instagram. He said, quote, "No pencil, but I'm still drawing all the attention." You read the tea leaves better than anybody.
He likes a little bit of attention, and I got bad news for him. He's going to have attention for a lot more months.
Well, you know Shams Charania has and will continue to keep us informed every single step of the way. So, Shams, with less than 2 hours until the deadline, my friend, what is the latest on the Bucks and Giannis's plans?
Malika, sources tell me the Milwaukee Bucks have started to indicate to teams that they are keeping Giannis Antetokounmpo through the trade deadline, through the remainder of the season. And my understanding is Giannis has communicated to the Bucks for months now that he believes the time is now for these sides to part ways, and that essentially led and forced the Bucks to at least listen to calls, listen to aggressive trade pursuits, and exchange concepts with teams. These sides engaged, but they never progressed to even close on a deal over the last few days, and now they're pushing this to the second half of the season, to the offseason. The Bucks have the rest of the season now with Giannis, but teams involved believe that the Bucks might truly feel that they can potentially build a contender around Giannis this summer and get him back on board to being there this summer. And so that is the one thing to keep an eye on here. The Bucks genuinely believe that they can try to build a contender around Giannis in the offseason once again. So now, in October 1, that's an interesting period to monitor. He's extension eligible.
All right, Shams, thank you very much. It is only February, and yet somehow it feels like the summer of Giannis is already beginning. We'll continue to check in with you as this show continues over the next couple of hours. He's staying put, Kenny.
Well, I'm laughing because the Bucks feel that they can potentially build. So does every other team that called. That's why everybody's calling about him. He's one of the top 5 players in basketball. If you put the right pieces around him, he's already proven that he can win a championship, and he's also already proven that he would be all in. Yes, he can win a championship, but today is like a special. I don't remember in our era, Coach. It's games used to be played. I wouldn't like that, Coach. This would be the same day, you know, we would be on a layup line. And I remember my first time ever being in trade
Conversations?
I wore a watch.
Okay.
On the layup line.
And you kept checking?
I was checking to see the time, and I was like, if I get traded, if they pull me off this layup line, and when 8:01 hit,
you're like,
I took the watch off and I went into the layup.
Well, so Giannis is going to be keeping that watch on, and I guess the question becomes, what's next here, Brian?
You can't get what you don't ask for.
You can't always get.
So if Giannis wanted to 100% be traded by today, and he wanted to be traded to a certain spot, he should have just said exactly that. I want to be traded to Miami, New York, Golden State.
You think they would have traded him to the same conference?
I think if he had come out and said, this is where I want to go and it's the only place I will extend, he would have gotten it done. He soft-played it, and now the Bucks have taken command. And the reason that the Bucks have taken command is, tactically, the correct decision is to wait until summer. In summer, teams can offer more picks. You have a better opportunity of knowing where other teams' picks are going to be. And you also have the opportunity to improve your pick. Because let me tell you what's going to happen now. Giannis has his calf injury. It's his second calf injury of the season. It's his fourth in the last 2 years. The Bucks, if they want to do what Shams just said, which is build a contender around him, they got to get the highest draft pick possible.
Meaning?
Don't get the highest draft pick possible.
Tank.
now they do have 2 hours left. They have a paucity of assets that they could try to do something with. But if they do not make a deal to improve their team, their way to improve their team is through the draft, and the way to do that is to tank, and that means not playing Giannis most of the rest of the season.
Well, Wendy, Giannis didn't soft play this.
He sure did.
He didn't soft play this because
he sure did.
We all know Giannis didn't want to go to Miami. He didn't want to go to Minnesota. He damn sure didn't want to go to Golden State. Giannis Antetokounmpo wants to be in New York.
Really? I haven't heard him say that.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, didn't you report that he said that in August? It was too late?
That was a long time ago.
Okay, he wants to be in New York. That's why he's not loud about it. By the way, shout out to Leon Rose because he just won Executive of the Year with this decision right here. You know why? Because now, all of a sudden, you have this New York Knicks team who I believe has the deepest team in the Eastern Conference with a shot to really go to the NBA Finals. And guess what? If you fall short, you could make a move and go get Giannis Antetokounmpo because he wants to be there. That's the biggest thing.
But part of the thing is over the summer, right? Shams reported that the Milwaukee Bucks and the Knicks essentially had what Shams termed an exclusive negotiating window.
Whispering, you know what I mean?
It was an exclusive negotiating window, right? That was the reporting.
Yes, and the Knicks were not aggressive at all right now.
But can they be more aggressive this summer?
Everybody can be more aggressive. Everybody will be in a better position this summer, maybe with the exception of the Warriors. The Warriors essentially will have the same things to offer, which is why they were so aggressive in offering 4 unprotected picks for him now.
I want to go back to something you just touched on. So Giannis is staying put. They want to get the best position possible in the upcoming draft, which is loaded. So how does Doc Rivers and John Horst tell Giannis, listen, we want you to take your time, get healthy, and when you do come back, we all know Giannis is a competitor. He wants to play. We don't want you to play. That is a really slippery slope.
Would you tell him that?
That's a hard conversation. He's wired in a certain way, Malik, where he's a competitor. He wants to play. He wants to compete. And if he's in Milwaukee, he wants to
NBA teams do that? I didn't know they tanked.
You know they did.
That's such a surprise.
If it indeed is their position to look, if they want to just mess around and finish 12th or 9th or something, then they can bring him back. They could make a trade for another player here in the next hour and a half that maybe got them an extra win or two. But that's not actually, that's not going to keep you Giannis. The only way you're getting Giannis is if you're getting a top 4 pick.
Well,
you can trade that pick or say, I'm going to draft somebody.
Well, 2 things. I hope the league watched the Bucks closely because if Giannis is healthy and the millions
but he's
of
not healthy.
Hold on. When he is, he said 4 to 6 weeks. So eventually, he said.
Dr. Giannis.
He said 4
you know what? They didn't say anything.
Okay,
they
I know.
Said no timeline.
I know that. But what I'm saying is, if Giannis says he wants to come back and play, then don't do a disservice to the million of NBA fans out there that want to watch Giannis. That's number one. Number 2, the last time I heard of a situation like this where they told a guy to shut it down and you're not playing because they was quote-unquote tanking was KG in Minnesota. And we saw how that ended.
Perk, it's happening all over the league right now. Forget about KG. It's happening 3 or 4 places in the league right now.
I understand that, but not with these caliber players. Why I brought up this situation?
Perk, there's all-stars sitting out right now.
No, they're not Giannis.
And the last point I would say is that, again, you're talking about a talent that is generational.
Yeah.
So if you pair him with particularly 95% of the league, you're a contender. If you pair him with the right person, 95% of the superstars, not superstars, it's not 95% superstars, but if 90% of all stars, if you pair this guy with, your team is going to be a contender.
Yeah.
So that is why the Milwaukee Bucks are on pause. That's why even Giannis is on pause.
Yeah.
Because he knows who he is as well.
It feels like this is exactly that, though, Kenny, an extended pause. This does not feel like the end of a sentence. This feels like an ellipses. It's going to carry on way into the summer. And that seems like if it's a question that's going to go on into the summer, something that we need to check in with Bobby Marks on. So, Mr. Marks, I see you over there. The trade machine is fired up because not the end of when we're going to be talking about Giannis.
Well, we're not. And I think there's a couple of teams I want to point out here. I think certainly New York right now. New York right now, they do not have a first-round pick to trade, but starting in June, they can trade 2026, their own, and a pick in 2033. So they go from 0 to 2 now. We always say the playoffs always dictate what happens in the offseason. Regarding Milwaukee, 2031, 2033, and 2036 as far as what they were able to do in a deal here, starting in the offseason. I think the second team, everybody's talking about the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat right now have 2 first-round picks starting in the offseason. That increases to 4. So that expands as far as some of these deals here. The one thing you have to worry about is a player like Terry Rozier no longer cannot be traded here. So the picks expand once we get into the offseason.
All right, so this is something that is going to continue into the offseason, and certainly it's something we are going to keep an eye on. But as the clock continues,